Hey man, what it is, this is Deem, and I am your host, and this is By Any Means. There go to Cash App, $ Deem by any means. There go to PayPal at Deem by any means. We finally hit 900 subscribers, y'all. Hopefully, I can get to this goal. We got a couple more days left, man, to try to get to a stack before the end of February. But if not, we'll go and continue to March. We'll definitely hit that goal in March. So I just want to say I appreciate everybody who'll be rocking with me. Tim Bradley, let me holler at you, man, with that ball-headed lie. What Gina and Martin say when Tommy was talking about his job? That's a ball-headed lie. So, Tim Bradley, let me get this straight, man. For you to be a Hall of Fame fighter and to be as biased as you are, and let me say this, y'all. I totally agree with Tim Bradley as far as Jermaine Ortiz being robbed. I totally agree with that completely. And I don't always disagree with Tim Bradley, but the problem is Jermaine Ortiz is another top ranked fighter. So I mean, I want to see him give somebody their kudos and credit when they're not a top ranked fighter. That's what I want to see. But as far as his hate for Jaron Ennis has gotten to a new low, y'all. This man sat up there and said that Jaron Ennis is a C-class fighter. I want anybody that is listening to my voice to go out there and find any other boxing channel, any other analyst, anybody anywhere that thinks that Jaron Ennis is a C-level fighter. C-level fighter? Sir, you shouldn't be allowed to analyze boxing ever again. If you look at Jaron Ennis, just with your eyes, y'all, if you look at Jaron Ennis and say that he's a C-level fighter, but you don't think Jermaine Ortiz is a C-level fighter, so you believe that Jermaine Ortiz beat Tio, but you don't believe that Jermaine Ortiz is a B-level fighter, right? Or is a B-level fighter. So you think Jermaine Ortiz is better than a Jaron Ennis? Is you out your mind? All that brain you got, all that head you got, are you out your mind? I just want to know. I just want to know what's going on. Are you? It's crazy because for you to say certain things like that, certain things are just so not true that it just shows people have a certain disdain or hatred or bias towards certain people. You could say you don't like Jaron Ennis. You could say you don't think Jaron Ennis could beat Terrence Crawford. You could say a bunch of all those things, and I wouldn't knock you or say anything differently about it or have any contention about those matters. But when you sit up there and say that this man is a C-level fighter, then that means that it's deeper than that. Because I don't care even if you don't like somebody. Like I'm not a Devin Haney fan. I don't like his team. I don't like the YouTube channels that be around him. But if somebody said that Devin Haney was a C-level fighter, y'all would see me make this same exact video. Devin Haney's not only not a C-level fighter, he's not even a B-level fighter. He's an A+. He's at least an A fighter. At minimum, Devin Haney is at least an A fighter. You see how unbiased that is? You see how important. The reason why I gotta keep it real on a Devin Haney is because that is doing hurtfulness to the sport by me lying on that man and acting like he's not as good as I think he is, or not willing to give him his flowers or his credit for what he produces inside the ring. I don't care what you think about Devin Haney. Devin Haney is not anything less than an A-level fighter. You know why? You know why I say that, Tim Bradley? And I could prove to you why what you said is so idiotic. I say that Devin Haney is an A-level fighter, y'all, because I think it would take an A-level fighter or above to beat him. I don't think no fighter that's a B-level fighter on down could beat Devin Haney. So there, just off a default, Devin Haney has to be an A-level fighter. Has to be. If it takes an A-level fighter to beat me. So what you're saying is you think Regis Prograve can beat Jaron Ennis. Let me see who's somebody else that's a C-level fighter, y'all. I would say Rolly Romero, but I don't even feel that way about Rolly. Who is somebody I truly think is a C-level fighter? Let's take wow. A C level is so bad, y'all, that it's hard for me to even come up with somebody I think that's a C level fighter right now. Let's say Yoshino. I think Yoshino is a C level fighter, but a C plus fighter. Like, I don't even hate putting that on him. So you think that Yoshino has more talent than Jaronennis? So that means that it would only take a B level fighter to beat Jaronennis. So that means you should be predicting that Mario Barrios, even though I think Mario Barrios is a B plus, a A minus fighter, that means that you think Mario Barrios is going to beat Jaronennis. You got to. If Jaronennis is a C level fighter, you see the idiotic. Like, yo, this is what's tearing boxing apart. Nobody could be honest. People always in their feelings when you get critical. People always got certain biasness. Even when they don't like somebody, they do everything to go out their way to not give that fighter their credit. I will never do that to a fighter, even if I don't like him, aka Devin Haney. I would never do that to a fighter, even if I don't like him, aka Devin Haney. But y'all are a disgrace to boxing. And for you to be in the Hall of Fame, for you to be an analyst, for you to be getting a check to talk about boxing, you are deliberately misleading the public about a sport that you claim that you love, a sport that you want to see continue long after you gone. Why sit up there and say that Jaronennis is a C-level fighter when all you had to say is, I just think he needs to stay away from Terrence Crawford because I don't think he beats him? Nobody knocks you for that comment. Okay, you don't think he could beat Terrence Crawford. A lot of people feel that way. It's hard for me to see him beating Crawford too. If Terrence Crawford beat Jaronennis, I won't be shocked, not even a little bit. If Jaronennis beat Terrence Crawford, I wouldn't be shocked, not even a little bit. But for you to just demean that man and say that he is a C-level fighter is everything wrong with the sport. You're even more of a detriment than Bob Arum, because at least Bob Arum not talking all the time. He's just setting up fights. At least Bob Arum is not running his mouth all the time. He's just setting up fights. And for you to sit up there and tell that bald-headed lie with all that brain that you got, your mama always said you got a brain, use it. And you got more than enough brains to go around. You could get half of your brain removed and still be perfectly fine, sir. Don't Timothy Bradley look like Pinky in the Brain? Don't Timothy Bradley look exactly like Pinky in the Brain? Am I being mean, y'all? Or do he look exactly like Pinky in the Brain? Go Google Pinky in the Brain and then look at a picture of Timothy Bradley, then come back and holler at me. Or don't he look like the dog off of Tom and Jerry? Don't he look like the dog off Tom and Jerry? Somebody tell me I'm lying, please. Timothy Bradley, man, you just a disgrace. And that's why I made a video on you months ago about your character. You don't even have integrity to be honest. You don't even have integrity to be honest. So you think that a Sean Porter has more talent than a Jaronennis. But Sean Porter's an A-level fighter. So I need to know all these welterweights that you think are B plus A-level fighters, and I need to see who you think's better than Jaronennis. So Romy Villa has to be a D-level fighter, in your opinion. Romy Villa is not a C-level fighter, and Jaronennis knocked him clean out. Romy Villa is not a C-level fighter. Romy Villa is at least a B-level, B-plus fighter. And Jaronennis made easy work of him. It's sad that we've come to a place where just malarkey and blasphemy is widely accepted. Like, just the fact that you can go on interviews and say these type of things with no backlash is crazy to me, but that's why I'm here. I'm here for the smoke for all you YouTube channels that want to push propaganda. I'm not attacking you. I am attacking your points. I am attacking your integrity. I am attacking who you are as a man. I am attacking your lies. I am attacking your biasness. So if I do make a video about you or about something that you do, it's because I totally disagree with it. And I think that is a detriment to not only us as a people, speaking of black people, but also to the sport that we claim that we love. And I'm not going to let nobody tear fighters down, tear boxing down for a sport I love. I'm not a Devin Haney fan, but boxing definitely needs Devin Haney. Boxing needs fighters that level of fighter. I would never let nobody anywhere, the biggest Gervonta Davis fan, tell me that that Devin Haney is a C-level fighter. I can't do that to that young man. He don't deserve that. He's not obligated to have my support, but he's definitely obligated for me to be fair to him and not put jackets on him and not try to make that man look bad as besides things that are actually true. Y'all know what this is, man. Deem by any means, you bald-headed liar.